Welcome to episode 11 of Two Dimensional Champions. Wow, we're at 11. That's cool.
Yeah. Soon we'll be legal in 7 more episodes.
Yeah, we're super not legal right now. Yeah. Actually... yeah, I'm not gonna
any longer.
I'm not gonna do another joke with that. No, so anyway,
Wait, did you hear that, I heard something of, how Japan, just recently, made child porn illegal or something like that. But, recently.
Good for them.
Yeah. Was it, watching it or something? I don't know. It was weird. It was one of those, alright, Japan. What?
Yeah, I know they've had a lot of big problems with that the past forever, I guess. I don't know if that's been forever, but yeah, I know there's been a lot of what I know about it is through basically the lawmakers that are trying to get stuff passed to censor manga and anime. So I've heard that end of it, which has been pretty interesting because the fan comic, the doujinshi community is huge over there.
Right.
And the porn is just everywhere,
Oh, wow.
the porn is just all over the place. But it's such a big part of the industry that,
it is.
I don't know.
It is.
The censorship stuff is odd, though, because, we could have a whole podcast just on this.
Right. And it's a completely different tone than this anime that we were watching.
Food Wars, yeah.
Exactly.
But, it's an interesting... The censorship thing is worrisome because, I don't know, I think, if it's just comics, whatever they may be, I don't know if that... it's good that they're finally passing laws that actually help real people,
Right. Yeah.
I think that's obviously super important, but whenever they go after comics, and it's always I feel like this isn't... I feel like you're not actually out there catching the bad guys, quote unquote.
Yeah. There's the argument of it, encouraging the behavior and stuff like that, but it's a really intense scene that comes to mind, and I'll just, after this we can get back on track, but it's when Guts, as a child, is raped by his... Oh, yeah,
Gambino's friend.
Right.
Or whatever. Not friend, but...
Well, was it him? or did... I thought it was... Or was it just... Or did you just sell him? I don't know.
I think you just sold him, yeah.
But it's still, fucking intense. And that really, illustrates how intense everything is, so it's if that, wasn't allowed to happen, even though it's, yes, completely terrible, but it's now you understand why Guts is so fucked, in a way, or, he just never caught a break, sort of thing, I don't know.
Yeah, and that starts getting down the rabbit hole of rape as a storytelling device. And that gets all sorts of people upset. But yeah, because, with certain censorship laws, that would be considered, completely illegal, that scene.
Yeah.
And that just wouldn't ever be allowed to, I don't know, just... yeah.
So today, what we're doing is Food Wars Shokugeki no Soma.
Yeah, Food Wars.
And next we're doing Gangsta, I believe.
Yep. Gangsta.
And that should be around the corner. And if you have any recommendations, questions, comments, whatever, please send us an email at twodimensionalchampions@gmail.com.
And like us on, I guess, SoundCloud.
iTunes.
Give us a good review, iTunes.
Any of those things.
That fun stuff. And Food Wars, you can you can watch on Crunchyroll.
Yes.
It's streaming. It's one of their simulcasts, so it airs whenever it airs in Japan. I think there's 17 episodes out. I think it's going to be 24 in all.
Yeah, the 17th is coming soon.
Oh, cool. And the manga is available from Viz, and it runs in the English edition of Weekly Shonen Jump. So you can read it there. And I think Sentai Filmworks picked up the home video rights to it, so I'm guessing it's going to be coming out here on DVD and Blu-ray at some point, although there's not a date for that yet. So, so that's, if you want to watch the show before listening to us turn it into sashimi. You can
what? Oh my god. Yes, yes, turn it into sashimi, you nerd.
I had to get in one, food-related joke for that. We're covering the first 5 episodes, right?
Yes.
Good, because I watched, all 16. So,
Did you
I'll
really?
just be talking. Yeah, well, I'll just be talking about the, generally everything that I've seen. So, I think I'm caught up with the manga too. So I'll just, I'll probably discuss some character relationships that happen in around episode or chapter like 175. That's a pretty interesting chapter. And so I think we're set.
I hate you so much right now. Wait, did you really?
No. I just watched the first 5 episodes.
Because it's like, oh shit, he's doing what I did on freaking whatever is where I pick up girls in a dungeon.
Yeah.
By the way, I just watched it all.
It's like, actually, that's why I'm late. It's because I had to watch the whole show and read all the manga.
Really, I watched the 5 episodes 2 days ago, but I didn't want to do it yesterday because I've watched, like, all of it.
Yeah.
Or something. God, I would do that. That would be awesome. Okay, sorry. I'm so distracted.
It's okay. The series started in 2012, running in the Japanese Weekly Shonen Jump.
Right.
And it's interesting because the artist, oh geez, I'm going to have a little stroke there. So it's got an author and an artist separate. So kind of like Hikaru no Go and some other series. And the artist is named Shun Saeki. I think that's his name. I don't think it's a pen name. But what makes it kind of a little remarkable is that he's a porno artist. He did a lot
I was wondering about that. I fucking knew it.
Yeah. He's written a few naughty things. Or should I say, drawn a few naughty things. And that's what he was known for prior to this series. And I think one of his manga, one of his porn manga, even got an OVA. Yes, it did. Actually, now that I'm looking at it.
Wait, what's the name again?
Harem Time the Animation. those keyboard clicks. Yeah, it looks like it came out in 2012. There's 2 episodes. It's produced by Pink Pineapple.
Pink Pineapple, good production quality.
Yeah, I'm sure it had exceptional production quality. So it looks like he was a popular.
Oh my god.
I
can actually see the similarities in the art.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's earlier, so his style has changed.
Yeah, I think it's better now. I think Food Wars is definitely. So I was thinking about it's like I feel like the introduction to Food Wars is like they were like, I hear the Americans call something like food porn. I hear of this. Let's take that and let's make it stronger, better, faster, like more porn.
Yeah, with more porn. Yeah, and actually, Saeki looks like he did I guess it was a poster or something with all of the Jump girls on it. That's pretty cute. That's a pretty. Anyway, so he's good. He's good at drawing girls. That's his thing.
Yeah.
He's also a good artist, just generally.
In general, yeah.
Yeah.
He's kind of good at drawing dudes too.
Good at drawing dudes too, yeah. And the food is actually well done too, because I feel like part of the issue with you got to make the food look tasty, because if it doesn't look good, then
right,
you're not going to care about it. So anyway,
I think that the art in general was really good. I was really impressed.
Yeah, the series is animated by JC Staff, and they're notable because they did Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon?
Oh. Small world.
They're doing Prison School right now. And they've done tons and tons of shows. I mean, just tons. And actually, interestingly enough, this is your little bit of trivia from our Arslan episode, is they actually did 3 episodes of an OVA, which adapted the heroic legend of Arslan back in like 94 or something like that. 95, and they did episodes 3 to 6.
Wait, really? Wait,
Yeah.
no, but this, not the most recent one that we saw.
No,
So how you're talking about how there's like a lot of adaptations of the same story, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they did half of an OVA, or
Yeah, they did half of an OVA series. So I think I don't know much about it, but it kind of sounds similar to the Hellsing Ultimate series, where it switched studios every 2 or 3 episodes, and a lot of the same staff worked through it. They just literally moved studios every few episodes.
So weird.
Which seems like an interesting story, yeah. But the difference is the Arslan OVAs I don't think were ever finished. I think they just covered up to a certain point.
Huh. Sort of like
so that's your...
Right.
Yeah.
Never finishes only because that's to a certain point.
Yeah.
Never forget. Never forget.
Yeah, it always... And I think there's a rule that they have to do when they animate Berserk, which is each animated adaptation must always end with cuts as the Black Swordsman walking away
Right.
from the camera or towards the camera in a very dramatic fashion. That's just how it has to be.
I can say that I don't think you're wrong.
Yeah, well...
We'll see. We'll see. Do you think they're gonna do another one? Like another...
I don't know. I mean, the manga's back, so and it looks like it's back on a regular schedule too. It's monthly now, so
For how long?
I'm hoping at least for the rest of this book, at least for the next 3-4 episodes.
Crossing the fingers.
That'd be cool. But I don't know about the anime. I know that I think it's Studio 4 Degrees Celsius did the movies, and I know there was an interview with the executive producer where she said that she intended to animate the Lost Children arc because she really enjoyed it or something. Maybe. I don't know.
So do you know why I'm a scumbag? It's because I keep on bringing up all of these topics that don't have anything to do with the anime that we're reviewing, and then bringing us back to the anime.
I know.
It's like, come on, Julian, you're off topic right now, and you're like, bro, I'm just answering the question you asked me.
What's really funny is you keep bringing up really interesting subjects too, right? So it's like censorship and, Japan's problems with child pornography. And then it's like, Berserk, do you ever think they'll make another movie? It's like, these are all topics that just get me, frothing at the mouth, right? So,
I want to talk about it. It's like, but we're actually here for a reason.
I think you're just practicing your, what's that thing they did with, dogs and that scientific experiment where they would...
The Pavlovian effect?
No, the Pavlov. Yeah, you're just practicing
I'm ringing
Pavlov
the bell, so you...
Yeah. You're just making sure it's like, yeah, I just want to make sure he's doing it right, so I'm just going to bring up a couple of topics that I know should elicit the same response from him every single time I up. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. I want to make sure that, keeping you on your toes.
Yeah. So Food Wars. So basically JC staff, I like that. They do solid work.
Right.
And
a lot,
a lot. I mean, they do a lot. They must have multiple.
Yeah, because I mean they're working on multiple things right now, right? I thought the studios normally just do an anime at a time.
Yeah, they're really big because I mean, Shokugeki no Soma or Food Wars, whatever, that's running until October,
right? And
they just started prison school. I think there's they just finished. Well, actually...
I mean, I think there's going to be a second season for Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, right?
Yeah, and the first season actually ran alongside Food Wars.
Food Wars, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so, they must be huge. So, episode 1.
Yeah. So, well, I want to know, what's your thoughts on the first 5 episodes were? Who... you sort of recommend it to, or whatever, as a grouping before we get into the individual what'd you think of it? Are you gonna watch more? Like,
yeah, actually, I found, I went in with, really all I knew about it was that it was drawn by, a porno dude.
you knew that going in?
Yeah, I knew that going in, yeah.
So you were prepared.
I was prepared. And it was one of those things where I had seen, like, pictures from the manga that people had just posted online. Right. And I was like, wow, that's really dirty, actually, for a Jump series. And then I have a subscription to the digital English edition of Weekly Jump. So I haven't actually read a full chapter, but I've seen pages, and I always thought the art was really nice. But I didn't know anything else about the story except that it seemed to me it looked like Iron Chef, except with tits. So, I mean, I just didn't know. So I went in kind of not really expecting very much. And I gotta say, I ended up liking it more and more with each episode I saw.
Yeah.
And so the first one was, it was okay. I thought it was a little too... I was getting too many Triage X vibes from the...
A little too porn?
It was a little too porn. I think, on the other hand, I just thought it was fucking hilarious when the fucking bodyguards, they also got naked and were just, going nuts, right? I thought that was just hilarious.
Right.
But, it was a little, I felt like it made its point
and
very
it was
blunt.
more so that way than in other... I mean, other episodes definitely have that, but that was more in the first episode than the following ones.
Yeah, because I felt the first one was very, very, very porny, whereas the previous ones were dirty, but they felt...
You mean the later ones, right?
Or the later ones. They felt... I mean, they were also dirty, but they felt more humorous.
So what you're saying is you wouldn't recommend this to your mother?
I would definitely not watch it with a parent. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's almost like... I almost wish that it wasn't quite as porny, so I could, feel comfortable recommending it to more women, without them being like...
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Anime such pigs or whatever.
I know, and what's funny is they do try to be a little equal with that, as in, when the guys eat food, they typically have a...
Similar response.
A similar response. And, there's the funny guy who wears an apron while naked.
That's true. It makes me, I kind of think, this is to, guys and girls as, around High School Host Club is to guys and girls. It's not many guys can, sort of be cool with watching two brothers almost make out.
Yeah.
I can see that can make some people what? This is good? This is, you're recommending this to me? What? But,
I actually think that's a really excellent comparison.
Yeah.
I actually think that's a really great comparison. I hadn't thought of that. And, I definitely feel like this show is the, should I say, sibling show to High School Host Club in that area.
Right.
Because I think it's the sort of thing where girls, I think, will be really put off, maybe, by episode 1. But if they stick with it, I think there's something in it that everybody can enjoy. I think it's a really great, Jump series where it really is a Jump series. It's all about hardworking guts, comrades,
Right.
And I like how the kind of typical plot structures you find in a lot of Jump series are recreated here in kind of a little different way. So I like how Irina, I guess the daughter of the headmaster, I like how she's kind of the main antagonist in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like that she's kind of like the big bad, but it's nice to see it. It's not just like some muscle-bound dude,
right.
Or like Cell,
So do you plan to watch more of this?
Yeah, actually, I think similarly to how I felt with Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, I really found myself enjoying it more and more. And also, I think of all the shows we've watched so far, with, I guess, the exception of, like Sidonia, where we just watched the whole season.
We weren't full there on that.
Yeah, I feel like this series is probably the best example of a show that the 5-episode block is great. And I don't know if you felt like that, because I felt like with 5 episodes, you really got a full taste, so to speak, of the series.
Yeah.
They covered. I mean, I don't know. I felt like it was a really firm foundation. And I think that was just completely, just chance. And I don't think that was. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, for people who are kind of on the fence about it, I would really encourage them to watch at least 3 episodes, if not up to 5, and just to really see, because I think 5 really gives you a nice selection of what to expect from the series, and I think it really allows the comedy to really come out.
Right.
Whereas, the issue that I had, what's nice is in the opening and ending themes, especially the ending theme, you see all of the characters who look like they're going to be the main support characters for the principal character, for the main dude.
Right.
You see them, and by the 5th episode, you've met all of them.
Right.
Whereas in Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, you watched the whole show, but I hadn't met anybody else.
Right.
Except 2 or 3 people.
They really poured in the characters in the last, 4 and 5, I think is what it was. It was just sort of and here's fucking everybody.
Yeah.
So,
and I think that's what made Food Wars such a joy to watch, is that everything was spread out very evenly.
Right.
And I think just as how they pay such close attention to the ingredients and taste in the story, I think the writer of the series really has paid close attention to the structure of previous Jump series, what's made them work, where to place the cliffhangers, and I think the guy has really kind of come out with a sort of perfect concoction of how to make...
Follows the formula well.
Yeah, it follows the formula, but also keeps you hooked.
Yeah.
So I would recommend it.
I definitely sorry, you'd recommend it too?
I would recommend it to anyone else, anybody who likes Jump series.
Yeah.
So if you like Bleach, if you like Naruto, if you've enjoyed all of those stories, definitely give this a shot. And don't let episode 1 put you off.
At least get 2 episodes, because the second episode really does play down in comparison to the first episode. In the first 5 episodes, no one else has gotten raped by an imaginary tentacle monster octopus. When I first saw that, I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, I was like, oh boy. And then on the flip side, however, I wouldn't recommend this to anyone who's never seen anime ever before.
That's true. Might be a little too... What?
This is pretty deep end of the pool.
Yeah. Unless they're a special kind of weird person. Yeah, it's pretty you have to have a little bit of a thick skin versus the insanity that Japan can pull out sometimes.
Yeah, precisely. And then on the other end, it's in the same... Okay, so it's in the same magazine as Naruto, Bleach, and all that good stuff.
Right.
So the kind of troublesome thing there is, would you recommend this to, let's say, a parent whose kid is about maybe 12 or 13 and really into Naruto, really into Bleach, and they're just loving all those stories and stuff? Where would you put this show? Because technically, the editorial group at Jump, this was fine to have in Jump. But I think it's one of those shows that might make a lot of...
parents who no.
Yeah, I think a lot of parents would freak out.
Yeah, because this is definitely he is in middle school going to high school, but it's made by an adult with a lot of adult themes.
And all of the girls are, I guess, generally 15. So I guess actually your first question starting the show wasn't off topic.
Oh my god, I'm really upset that ended up being that way.
Yeah. With the exception actually of the first lady who was trying to buy the restaurant. She was definitely older. So, but yeah, all the other girls are 15 or so. So it's just one of those things where they're not drawn like that. It's definitely, it doesn't have a...
Right.
the style is, none of these girls look like they're 15.
But it is a coming to age high school themed thing.
Yeah, and when I was 14, 15, I would have just died for this show, you know?
and actually, here's the thing that I think is kind of neat, though, is that you might have cooked. Or I might have cooked. I don't know, maybe you did cook. I didn't. But like,
I didn't cook. Yeah, I think I would have cooked with this show. Because you remember Hikaru no Go, right?
Yeah.
So that show got me playing Go.
Yeah.
You know, really. I mean, my dad played it, and, you know, I had a little bit of, you know, an introduction to it, but, you know, the Hikaru no Go really made me just show me, like, just how cool it could be.
Right.
And I think this is similar. I think I would have actually been really much more interested in cooking when I was a kid if I had seen this.
It actually, like, it makes me think, because there's, like, Prince of Tennis, there's Hikaru no Go, there's a lot of, and, I mean, I don't know if you necessarily, there's a Kuroko no Basketball, there's a lot of sort of Ace Diamond or whatever, you know, like there's a lot of sort of, like, crazy anime sport things, but this is, like, sort of, like, anime skill things, you know, like I think it's an interesting way to introduce, like, learning something, like, actually learning something too that I don't think that are, like, I feel like we've lost. I feel like cooking is almost like a lost art, really. Like, I really wish I knew how to cook more. I never really cooked much when I was growing up, and now as an adult, I spend a lot of time going out and eating food out and stuff like that. So, but with this, it's like it has, like, you go to a school where it's super structured and they're very like, well, this is the French style and this is, you know, this style and this style, but it also has a character who I think really holds on to, like, the art of creativity. Like, he's always trying crazy shit, and sometimes the crazy shit that he tries, the most disgusting things that he makes, help create some of his best dishes, you know. So, like, there's one scene where it's like, how do you know about this, like, crazy French style? He's like, well, what's this French style? This is just something my dad taught me to do. This is something that I just sort of, like, figured out or whatever, you know, instead of knowing, like, the actual skill.
Yeah, they really accent the chemistry behind cooking,
which is huge.
It's a science.
Like,
yeah, it's a science.
Yeah.
You know, all by itself. I mean, you really have to know. You have to be a chemist to be a good cook.
Right.
You know, even if you're doing it intuitively, you know, you've also got to understand, like, you know, I love how the detail they get into, like, was that the pineapple thing you were talking about, where he uses what did he use to tenderize the meat?
Oh, he uses honey, I think.
Yeah, the honey. I love that scene. Yeah, because it just showed you how cool cooking can be.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay, it's got the, you know, the art side of it, which is the preparation. And usually that's what I've heard the most, which is, you know, I've heard a lot of discussion about, the plate is so well put together and pretty and stuff like that. But this really makes you excited for all the cool shit you can. It's like alchemy, you know what I mean? You can do all sorts of, like, wild shit and really pull it off. And what's interesting is, so they hit the brainy, I guess, or strategic side of it.
Right.
So, you know, the very science-oriented part of cooking. But then the combination, I actually think the artist is a good pick for the series, because food is very sensual. You know, it's a very, I mean, I think food and, I guess, you know, I guess food fetishes are not new, you know?
I was like, I wasn't going to navigate this one.
Yeah, it's like, how am I going to do that?
I mean, I enjoyed watching a lady eat a banana from time to time. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying that, you know, bananas are delicious, and sometimes I like watching people eat bananas. I don't know.
Exactly, and, you know, like, how certain foods are, like, aphrodisiacs and stuff like that. I think it's like clams. Is that clams?
I don't know.
I mean, I like clams. Anyway.
I can tell you that I have not quite had the same reaction as these characters when eating food. Sometimes close, actually.
Not like that, but you know, especially with, like, wine pairings, and, you know, it's a very, you know, there's a reason why, like, Valentine's Day dinner is always a big deal.
Right.
because, the good food is part of that atmosphere. And, it just really, that's why most dates are arranged around food,
Yeah,
it's like,
true.
So I think, the show, I feel like it's, I mean, again, it's really out there in terms of its reactions that the characters have, but I think it's not too big of a jump. I think
it really is far-fetched as it seems at first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know, who would you like? What did you feel about it, and who would you recommend it to?
I mean, just same as you were saying. Like, it's definitely targeted towards a male audience, but I think it has really strong comedic elements. The animation quality I think is really good. So like,
very consistent.
Yeah, like people who like there's a lot of comedies that I don't get into because it's sort of like I feel like that's a place where they sort of shy away. Almost, I don't know. Maybe I just haven't seen enough comedies, but it's like just really good. I really enjoyed it.
Well, it's actually funny,
Yeah, it's one of those things where like I sort of had a feeling that like that I might not watch more than the 5 episodes, just because almost that there's like so much anime out there to watch now. It's kind of actually overwhelming. But like when I was watching these 5 episodes, I was laughing out loud, often, loud. Like, when that joke blindsides you, you just have that, like, like that reaction. Yeah. Like, oh shit, or whatever.
Yeah, and I got a feeling, too, with watching it, that there's some scenes that you can see that they worked really well in the manga as well. Mm-hmm. So I feel like reading the comic would be almost just as funny, because I feel like the anime and again, I've not read the comic, but I can almost see the panels, like I can almost see how it was done in the book, and so I guess they're following it. It feels like they're following it closely, and they kept the timing really sharp.
It makes me think of when you were talking about the character expressions, how you wish there were more character expressions in Arslan or whatever. Like, I think that this one does the character expressions really well.
Yes, I wish if. Wow, you totally hit that point. Yeah. Yeah, great point. Yeah, really, really great point. And that was because these characters feel real. They feel alive. They just, you really get into them. They're hilarious. You just get the emotions really well. And I think that was the big failing precisely of Arslan, which is especially there.
So if only the Arslan artist drew more porn, then it would be a better anime. So really, what we're trying to get at is that when you're working on an art or like a skill, you really want to do the breadth, different areas, can cross over. Sort of like cooking.
Well, I guess drawing porn is going to basically give you all of the expertise you need in learning expression and learning the human form and perspective.
No, exactly. I wouldn't necessarily call all the form of these people necessarily, human, if you know what I'm saying. Like,
oh, well, yeah, but you know what I mean. Learning that proportions, I guess.
But anyway, yeah, I know what you're saying.
But that's the thing is the Arslan manga. She does great expressions, and I think the Full Metal series really captured that well. Whereas Arslan, it was like they just forgot that, oh yeah, she does really great expressions. Yeah. And the character designs are great when you're just looking at the posters. Yeah. But in the show, they have one face. It's the serious face, and they do that well, but as soon as the comedy starts...
They still have the serious face.
Yeah, I mean, Food Wars beats the shit out of Arslan when it comes to
the comedy. Yeah,
the comedy. I mean, just.
And I guess in like Full Metal, they sort of have Eric. Was it Eric? Was that the main character's name?
Elworth.
Elworth. Yeah, I was like, God, no, it's wrong. It's so embarrassing. But like how he'd like go chibi, and like freak out whenever someone called him small or short or whatever. Yeah. It's almost like the animation style completely changed when they were doing comedy versus when they were doing serious stuff. In that, they did not do that in Arslan, and they sort of did that in this. One thing that I really liked about this show is that whenever someone, you could do whatever you wanted because they, as an artist, they had so much flexibility because whenever someone ate something, it transported them to like a whole nother like scene. So you could literally have anything you want happen at any time. You know, and that sort of creativity, I think, is also like a huge part of the comedy. You know?
Yeah, I think it's wonderful. Yeah.
So, and another thing though with the episodes, did you stop watching the episode when the ending scene was rolling, or did you watch it all the way to the end?
I watched it all the way through.
See, I don't. I normally just stop at the end when I see the ending cutscene because I'm like, oh well, this is over. Time to watch the next.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of like almost like bloopers or little like things if you watch the full episode.
There is, and also the other fun thing I really enjoyed is in the ending theme, they actually change based on who tasted the main character's food. They change the expression of like there's a close-up expression of a character like when they're enjoying like in the thralls of ecstasy trying whatever the guy cooked. Yeah, so each episode the ending card in the middle of the ending theme changes depending on which character ate what. So I thought that was a cute touch. The only thing I was disappointed in was I think it was episode 4. I was really expecting it to be the old lady who had tried his cooking at the dorm. But they actually focused on the 2 girls at the party who were drinking.
Oh, but they did have, at the very, very end...
oh, yeah, they had her.
They had her in her young form, but with her old lady voice. God, that was great.
That was really funny.
Did you have any parts... So we should probably start rolling through the episodes. Did you have any parts of episode 1 that you like really liked, other than the dudes strutting their stuff, one might say?
Well, I enjoyed the opening. I thought both the opening and ending themes were really well done. And another thing that I liked was how when they put up the credits in the opening theme, there's steam that comes off of the kanji. Just like the words are being cooked.
Right.
So I feel like the staff had a lot of fun with the show.
Yeah.
And the first episode I felt like was pretty, I think hit all the main points you need to hit for a first chapter or first, introductory story.
Right.
I thought let's see, what's this guy's name? Soma. I should have known that. Yeah. I feel like Soma he's a very likable character. He's like Ichigo. Actually, he reminded me of Ichigo, except smarter, I guess. Yeah, he is kind of a brick. But really, what stood out to me the most, I guess, in episode 1 was just how tasty the food looked, which I was kind of surprised by for a cartoon.
Yeah.
It gave me a little bit of that same feeling I have, which is why I can't watch cooking shows, is I just get really hungry. And then when I go to the fridge, it's like those little yogurt cups with like a few M&Ms that you pour into it. Right. Yeah, so it's just I have like 4 of those.
You're like,
and I'm like, well,
this is not like meat juice.
Yeah, meat juice. So this wasn't what I was thinking of, but yeah, I mean, first episode was definitely the one I enjoyed the least. Because I also felt like it was one of those things where the dad is classically not involved.
Right.
It's like, oh yeah, I'm leaving. Here's the school. This is one of those things where you feel like he's going to be the end boss.
Well, right. Well, he was actually the beginning boss.
He is definitely the beginning boss. Yeah.
Right. But I kind of actually really liked that about the first episode, or at least like the because like I was like, oh, I don't know why I like fell for it or whatever, but I was like, oh, he's like, I wonder what they're gonna do with this. He's just gonna like continue working at his shop and then like get better and fend off all these like bad landlord people and stuff like that, and then like he successfully thwarted the evil real estate lady and her henchmen. And then he's like cleaning, and then like the dad's like, hey man, like when he was like walking home, hey man, what do you want to do? It's like, well, I'm gonna like work with the family, man. I'm gonna continue working at the shop. I'm gonna become better, carry on the family tradition. He's like, Cool. All right. Awesome. And then, and then at the end, it's just like, by the way, I'm like leaving for 3 years, and I'm closing the shop. It's like, oh God, it was so. I just thought that was so funny.
That's true. That was quite funny. Yeah, and the other thing I liked in episode 1 is we get the first of Irina's vision of when she tries food, and I like that she's super serious meditating under this waterfall, and she gets hit in the head with a jukebox, and that's her
experience while she's
and the guy is like, what?
And then like she explains it. It's like, oh, and it's like, and then there's a jukebox, and they're like, like such insight, and she's like, you skipped this prepping step, didn't you, or whatever. But like at the end of the episode, I don't know if you saw this because I watched it twice and I saw it the second time. But like at the very end, it had the girl that he fed the tentacle rapist monster to, right? Did you see this? Did you see what they wrote? She was like, the flavor of the tentacles. It actually felt a little nice.
Oh yeah,
that was hilarious. Oh my God. Sorry. Yeah, that was awesome.
That's really funny. Yeah, he keeps combining stuff with squid. I think that's
right.
And the squid seems like to be his like unofficial,
I don't know,
his Luigi to his Mario, I guess.
I don't understand, but it's great.
It is. And then episode 2 has my favorite Irina tasting experience, which is when she's in the hot spring and there's like a fucking silverback mountain deer.
Yeah, and it's especially with that character, it's great because it's like do and then it looks so, it's like, oh wow, she's really enjoying this food, and then like something really jarring happens, like I think there's when she was going to get the sumo guy too, like there was like a train or like there was like some sort of like
it was like
construction or hippo. I don't know what it was.
A herd of hippos going through like on a train track.
Right, which is, and this is like that's what I was talking about with like the comedic. Anything can happen when someone's tasting the food, which just makes like if they can get those timings, it's like always funny.
Yeah, I love the silverback. That was hilarious because it's just looking at her and it's like, sup.
Right. She's like, my favorite scene in episode 2 was when they're talking about how a child, the first words out of their mouth is like, mama, dada, and then like it shows a picture of her like breastfeeding, and then like she like the brows furrow, and like looks up and goes like, needs more depth.
Yeah, she's critiquing her mom's milk.
Right.
Yeah, I thought that was great. That was really good. Yeah, I've got to say, Irina, definitely best girl. So when this episode was all about her, I think it was no surprise that this was probably my favorite episode. Yeah. Because she's great. She's just really great. And that flashback showing of, her as a baby.
Right. This is terrible. This is terrible. Yeah. Get this tit away from me. I can't handle this filth anymore.
Yeah. And I liked how she thought it was tasty, but she failed him. Right.
And then like her father or whatever came, because I stopped at the ending scene or cutscene or whatever. So I assumed that like the father had that role because it showed him like shouting him before. But at the end, he actually tastes it, and then he like tears up the failed thing, and he rips off his shirt and is like, and he is just a Yakuza boss. Like that is who he is. Like,
and I liked how he only lost half of his shirt.
Right. Which,
he didn't get totally naked.
Yeah.
And I really liked how when Irina was like in heaven and it feels like being like
caressed by feathers.
Yeah.
And then there's a whole bunch of somas with feathers.
Yeah.
and he's making he's making noises. It's not like, oh, it's feathers. Like it's like
Yeah. He's making.
He's just like fap 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 fap.
Yeah.
Or like with the other one that when he did the meat with the honey with the bees, you just hear like bzz, 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 bzz.
Yeah.
So it's just like buzz 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 buzz.
Yeah, that was hilarious. That was really good.
Yeah.
And I liked. This is the one where Arena's assistant, like, she's like, "Do you want to try my food?" And she gets all like.
Oh right. When her,
she's like, "You're such a hussy," or whatever.
Later, like in my private quarters, and she's like,
"Yeah,
like, is this true?" And then like they almost get, and the guy's like, so it's just eggs, right? Like that's all we need is eggs, and they're like, "You didn't run away from me?" It's like, "Do you even know who I am?" He's like, "Nope." And they're like, "What?"
Nope.
Oh, and like God, and like the scene when he like came in. And like just had a whole bunch of like rich kids crying. And then we came to the school. Just like, no, it's like, I'll give you 10, no, 20 million, please let my son come back. And like,
yeah, and I liked how the guy who was giving him shit for being a commoner in the middle advertising card sequence, he's like calling his mom.
Right?
Like, Mom.
Oh yeah, and he left.
Yeah, he left. Yeah, they all left.
Yeah.
Was Soma... so this is where I was a little confused. Was that the whole class at first year? Like, of hopeful first years that got kicked out?
I'm not exactly sure.
Because that's what I got confused with. Because then there's the other girl who shows up in episode 3 who was, like, at the bottom of the class.
Well,
even at exam.
I know her story was she was rejected over and over. And then, like, you can only be rejected so many times, I think, before you can actually go in. So I know this was her last, like, if you fail anything, it's over, like, this is your last. She was, like, held back, you know. She's like the 16-year-old in middle school or something like that. Or
yeah. Because that's what I didn't understand was Arena's test for everybody and they all ran away? Or was it just for a certain group?
I'm not sure if they did separate tests or whatever. If so, it's pretty fucked.
Yeah, I mean,
but then again, isn't she also a first year? Because I know when he said that he's going to be like the top of his class, he was talking about contesting with her.
That's true. Yeah, I guess she is a first year, but she's already part of the elite.
Yeah, I don't know. So there's a little bit of plot holes so far that just don't really make sense. Maybe they do make sense. We just missed them.
Or maybe there's something in the manga because I felt like it's weird. Arena feels like she's filling out a couple of characters. Like, she's the main antagonist. She's also the, like, Satsuki from Kill la Kill. She's the, like, class president type.
Right.
But she's also a first year, so she's his rival, but also his goal, sort of like main character from Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, who is chasing after that.
Right.
That other blonde girl. They're always blonde, aren't they? Yeah, it's a little weird but she's already part of the Elite 10, so she must have beat somebody.
She must have been
and she's also the headmaster's daughter, and what? Yeah,
so who knows? Long story short, question mark.
Silverback Gorilla, I guess.
Yeah. the best segue.
Yeah. So now episode 3, and we start off with a flashback of Megumi, I think that's her name, leaving town. And so, I've enjoyed this show, but this is another example of a moment that just didn't make any sense for me. So she's younger, she's like 13 or something.
Right.
She leaves town, she fails something, I guess that's the entrance exam you're talking about. And then I think it's after the opening, she's in. But she only just barely made it. And I felt like that.
I think she said it was like her third time. I don't know.
Yeah.
My impression was that she left home to go make it at this school. She hadn't, and I think that maybe applicants can try out multiple times in a year, which is maybe what that's about. So. Yeah. She was on her last, she tried, I want to say she tried twice already, and failed both times, and then this time she barely got in.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I feel like that should have been fleshed out a bit more, because I was actually kind of confused when I saw that. I just didn't understand, especially since we hadn't seen this girl before.
Right.
So I didn't really, it was like, what? You know, what? Who? She got in, but she's a failure? What?
Right.
But then again, it was like, I thought the school only accepted, you know, anyway. It was just weird. I thought that could have, maybe it's different in the manga. I thought that could have been worked a little better.
Right.
But the rest of the episode was a lot of fun. I liked the chef who never smiles. That was fun.
Yeah.
You had the asshole students who try to, you know...
sabotage their shit.
Yep. And of course, you know, Soma wins.
Right.
With another brilliant recipe.
Creation that happened by accident.
He makes the teacher smile. And at this point now, Arena's getting really pissed that not only is he in school, but he's also...
Yeah.
You know, doing really well.
Yeah, for sure.
And Megumi then turns into... Megumi is then the next poor girl to be squid fondled.
Right.
So he just starts testing new flavors on her. So, yeah, that was pretty funny. That was where the scene we talked about before, where he uses the honey to tenderize the meat. I thought that was really cool. That was just a great example of... It was like one of those scenes in Hikaru no Go or something where they get really in-depth with the subject that they're talking about, and you're like, wow, that's really awesome. It's like, that's fun. And it's funny that he started taking classes before he moved into his dorm.
Yeah.
That I thought was pretty funny.
It was a little...
Because episode 4, he's going to his dormitory.
Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, you have to have a little bit of creativity or whatever with that stuff.
Yeah, you just gotta let it like do its thing. Because again, these are nitpicks, but the show really works. If you let it take you along its pace, I think you'll have a better time. Other than because if you start questioning stuff, you're just never gonna end.
Right.
But I like the dormitory. The dormitory was fun, and the headmaster or the head of the dormitory. That was the scene where he, of course, makes a great meal, and it takes her back to her youth, and she tries to make out with him, which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Which is funny that she was, of all the girls to try his food so far, she was the only one who had that reaction. Otherwise they had a really positive reaction, but they never wanted to like scope him out,
Yeah.
So she did. Although I guess she was remembering her old boyfriend.
Right. I think that's sort of like what that was. But yeah. Madness.
Yeah. Was that me or is that you?
I don't know. It might have been me. I got some texts which was a little distracting, so I apologize for that.
Sorry, I was going to say, I don't think that's me. Because I thought...
But I did think maybe you're them. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I couldn't tell with with the microphone. Because I thought I had put everything on mute. So I was like, like, is that in the room or is that in your room? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So then we're at the dorm. He, of course, comes into the bath while Megumi is still in there.
Right.
Poor Megumi, she just can't catch a break.
Right.
And then after that, he's lying in bed reminiscing about the past few episodes, and then he gets interrupted by the pretty boy guy who just opens up the top of the ceiling.
So what did you think of that like character in that whole like group party scene or whatever that ended up happening?
I actually thought it was really cool. I liked how they actually got drunk, and it was funny how the show like kept trying to say that.
It's just like rice water.
Yeah,
it's like
rice,
we know that's
juice.
sake. Fuck.
So I thought that was fun. I mean, because the underage drinking thing, I feel like it's something that a lot of shows especially anime, tends to shy away from, because they're like, oh no, that doesn't happen. But then at the same time, like, it felt very natural. You know, it just made these kids feel really real, I guess. Especially when they're in, like, a culinary school.
Right.
Like, they're gonna drink, you know what I mean? Because, you know, alcohol is, you know, it's a, like I said before, like with wine pairings and stuff, it's super important. So you have to have a taste for booze.
Right.
So, you know, I thought that actually it felt natural, and it also felt like a real, you know, group of, you know, I guess dorm roommates living together. So, you know, it felt very realistic. I like the blonde dudes, who turns out to be the number 7.
Right.
And the elite.
You sort of, I kind of had a feeling that there's something up with this guy. Like, like, what is it? We haven't seen his final form or whatever.
Yeah. Well, he was like too over the top.
Right. You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of the Prince in around High School Host Club.
He does.
Like, so hard.
Do you think it's the same voice actor?
Oh, I wonder.
I wonder.
I don't know. I'd be a little surprised. No, I don't. The other one seems a little more like, ooh, well, who knows the voice actors and stuff.
Well, all I know is the voice actor for this guy was Griffith in the Berserk movies. So.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, for who? For Soma?
No, not for Soma. For the dude who pokes his head through the ceiling.
That was Griffith?
Yeah, that's Griffith.
Do you actually like recognize voice actors, like, when they talk?
Some of them. I just recognize Griffith. Well, I mean, some of the other voices sounded familiar, but, you know, Griffith just stands out. You know, he does the, like, pretty boy happy, but then when he gets serious, he gets kind of scary. He does that switch well. And so when he got serious at the end, when he was like, I'm part of the Elite 10, I was like, oh, it's Griffith. Yeah.
And, you know, like,
yeah. And actually, his best scene, I thought, was there's these pipes that run through the dormitory where the, like, I guess the kids can talk to each other. And, like,
is it what I'm thinking of?
Yeah, it's when, because Megumi was like, yeah, he talks to me through the pipe, and he's like, I'm awake. I'm alone, so I'm not having any fun.
Right.
If you're awake,
come down.
Why don't you come over? Hang out. Have some fun. I thought that was hilarious. I thought that was great. I was like, that's fucking hilarious. Yeah, and the guys are like, yeah, maybe it's better he just pokes his head through the ceiling.
Right.
Because Megumi was like, if I don't respond, he just keeps talking to me every few minutes.
Right. And then the other girls are like, you can really just outweight him. You know, because he apparently does that with, like, everyone. Oh, God.
Yeah, so I thought it was great. I thought it was funny that one of the girls has, like, farm animals and deer in her room. That was kind of interesting. And when she got pissed, she was going to, like, throttle a duck or something. That was pretty funny. So I liked it. I liked how they all just got drunk and passed out, you know? And it was just, I don't know, it felt very
I mean,
true.
It is kind of like, they're saying high school, they're in college, you know?
Yeah, and that's the thing is, it feels a lot more like college than it does high school. I don't think I ever... I definitely didn't ever see a dude in an apron naked in high school. So, yeah.
But
so
in
I don't
college...
think that's... But in college,
all
that was totally different. You know, all the time, constantly. Well, you know, I did see a dude wearing an apron metalworking, and he was naked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I thought was, like, kind of a bad idea, right? Because, I mean, you got bit.
At least he's wearing an apron.
He was wearing an apron, but he was fucking welding, you know? So I was like, you're not concerned?
Right.
At all? I mean, nuts and bolts, right? I mean, you don't want to... That would be bad to melt down.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, yeah, definitely much more like a college than a high school. But I don't know.
But, I think really, like, the story is designed for a college. I mean, really a vocational school. But because of, like, the industry or whatever, then they're saying that it's middle school and high school because that's what all these manga or whatever, like, are about, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's what it sort of comes down to.
Yeah, that's true. So, at the end of this episode, we kind of get a little bit more on the Elite 10.
There's like a special challenging process, madness stuff going on. Anyone can challenge anyone. It's only the strongest survive. Very, very cutthroat when it comes to cooking.
Yeah, and I thought it was really funny when they do the cook-off between Soma and the pretty boy dude. He's still in his fucking apron. Like, there's this like dramatic scene.
They're like, is no one gonna talk about this? Because he's like posing, you know?
Yeah.
He's like abs, like, or whatever. I mean, so yeah, you know, ladies, there's a little something for you, like later on.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, this guy is straight out of you know.
Yeah. Probably they might have some like yaoi whatever.
Oh yeah. And I thought it was hilarious when Megumi wakes up and she sees Soma shaking hands with him and his apron's falling off and he's crying.
Right?
And she has no idea.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, I would say there might be, but like the way those guys talked about each other's cooking, they practically burned.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. I mean,
your spring was so refreshing. Oh yeah.
So I thought that was pretty funny, especially since Megumi had no context for that. She was like,
what?
What? So that was a long fucking night too. So like they drank, they partied, they passed out, and then he stayed awake, and then they had a cook-off, and then they went back to sleep, and then woke up just in time for class early in the morning.
So it's really college.
Really college, yeah.
When we partied, there was always like tiers. There was everyone partying, and then there was like the people who like never fall asleep partying and chilling or whatever.
Yeah.
And then yeah.
That's really that. And what's weird is that the head of the dorm is like listening to all of them.
Right, and is like super supportive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, party. I hope you guys fuck too. Like, woo,
yeah.
Back in the day when, you know, like.
But she's like, let me listen to that while you guys do that.
That piping communication system is so weird.
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty funny, but then when you think about it, it's like,
I mean, what about like the heating, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, because, you know, the first thing I would do in that is I would fart in that freaking tube, you know?
You would?
Send that fart through the whole building.
That's disgusting, too. I totally believe you.
And be like, it's like stereophonic farts, bitches, you know? Anyway, but, so we move on, you know.
That's pretty much...
They basically spend the rest of the episode describing the system of the Elite 10.
Right. Which I still don't really understand. I figure you just sort of need to see it.
Yeah, I mean, we could spend 15 minutes describing it, but basically anybody can challenge anybody in the school as long as you have 3 things. You have to have, like... I just got tired thinking about it. There's, like, stuff you have to do.
Hey, listen, we don't want to spoil this for you, alright? Because it's a really just, like, it's really special. So just watch the anime yourself so you don't have to explain it or even try to understand it ourselves. Cool? Yeah, cool.
They'll do a much more exciting job than...
Right. They'll be talking, it'll be really interesting, you'll have no idea what they're saying, but you'll be like, yeah, I got it. Like, just explain it to anyone else.
And what's funny is from a story perspective, it keeps the story exciting because technically anybody can fight anybody at any time. Right. But there's enough shit that they have to go through to get that fight, you know, to make it official, that they can still have dramatic build-up for that fight. Because I'm sure they've got to go through all sorts of hoops.
Do you think this is going to be a one-season anime, or do you think this is going to be multiple seasons?
I think it's going to be multiple seasons. JC Staff also did Bakuman, which was written and drawn by the same team.
Isn't that like about anime or something like that? About drawing?
Yeah, so it's about drawing manga.
Yeah.
And specifically, it's about working for Jump and trying to draw a Jump series. So
that's so meta, like.
Oh yeah, and what's even more meta is that there's a for real editor who works at Jump who's an editor in Bakuman.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
that's crazy.
it's like super, super meta. So what they did with that is they did one season per year of 25 episodes for 3 years. And I think they ended up covering the whole manga. So I expect, since the manga is still running, I think it's doing well. It's been selling really well. I think the anime, is, I'm sure as a Jump series, it's done solidly. I don't know what the exact numbers are. I would fully expect a second season of Food Wars next spring or something.
Yeah.
If they're following the same route that Bakuman did, and it's the same studio, so I don't see why not. And so the finale of this episode ends with really showing how Arena is really cemented as the antagonist. She fucks with a poor sumo dude. And the finale, we get introduced to another character who I guess seems pretty important, and she wears an American flag.
Right. She's the God. What's that style when they're super tanned or whatever? I think it starts with a G. But I mean, she's like that and or American, and works exclusively with meat. So
yeah, I feel like
stereotypes are strong on this one.
No, that one. Yeah, what was it? She was like the meat.
She's like, I am the meat expert, and I have this giant cleaver.
Yeah, it must be kind of dangerous carrying a cleaver that big and clothes that skimpy.
Yeah. Who knows?
That's kind of threatening. If someone took a cleaver out of me...
I think this whole episode, we've been trying to make too much sense out of fucking cartoons.
Yeah, these Chinese cartoons...
like, just think about what that does for the environment. It's like, oh, God.
Yeah, I definitely think we're going too far with that.
I don't know about the heating system with that piping. Come on, you need a little...
Like, really, I mean...
Jeez, this is totally taking me out of the element.
Yeah, it's like, this is some NSA bullshit, man, with the... That's just stupid. Yeah, so it's fun.
Thanks, Obama.
Yeah, thanks, Obama. It's fun, it's a little sexy, and I think they spent most of episode 5 really just sending home the Elite 10 idea.
Or really, like, I want to say, like, sort of finishing the foundation. Like at the end of episode 5, I mean, you really have a feel for the show. It introduces pretty much all of the characters, and they're all, like, a little, like, quirky. I still don't know, like, why in that, like, opening scene that one dude who doesn't talk has, like, a chainsaw. That's a little confusing to me, but, whatever.
Maybe he is an ice sculptor.
Maybe that's exactly what he is. But, yeah, it just really just sort of establishes everything. And,
yeah, and that goes back to me thinking, too, that I definitely think of the 5-episode runs we usually do. This is by far the best show suited for a 5-episode test.
Yeah.
Because you get everything you need.
Yeah.
I actually feel like I could pick up any chapter now of the manga and know what was going on just from watching the first 5 episodes.
Or like, yeah, be able to follow, for sure. For sure. You're like, oh, well, this is a food battle. Someone is challenging someone, or, well, this character is... whatever, this class, whatever, yeah. Oh, God, you know what we didn't talk about?
What?
The father, the scene when the father was cooking in other places.
Oh,
God, and the monk came in, and they're like, we're in the middle of a fast. He's like, it's like, if I can taste this cooking one more time, I'll renounce my religion. He, like, takes off all of his clothes, and, like, jumps the
dives into yeah. That was hilarious.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. I laughed out loud.
Yeah, it was just so good.
That was hilarious.
So yeah, that was just another great scene with the father. So it does sort of follow the father a little bit and sort of keep in touch with him, at least so far. Who knows?
Yeah, I still think N-Boss, or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Especially
do you think N-Boss more than like the president guy or whatever?
Yeah.
Do you think that the father went to the school and then he knows the principal or whatever?
I think so. Yeah. I think there's something, because we also don't know the father's friend who called him
for the favor.
Yeah,
that's true.
So it'll be interesting because he also says that the secret to cooking your best is if you find a woman who you can cook for.
Right, and it showed his like dad's question mark mother or whatever.
Yeah, I guess, or I guess she was just
or just a really blurry photo
Yeah, she was like, yeah, I was always terrible at taking pictures.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, maybe she was just sick of his shit, you know. Yeah. But yeah, so I feel like Arena and Soma maybe will team up or something at the end, or, you know, whatever. He'll confess his feelings or something. Yeah. So what's fun about this series is, like, you know, jump series can get canceled at any time if they're not popular enough.
Right.
So I feel like this series has been structured really, really well so that it can really end or go on for as long as necessary.
Like fucking Naruto.
Yeah, well, even more so than that, because I mean, you know, Naruto was basically like, I'm going to become the fucking Hokage. That's what I'm going to do. You know, and kind of like One Piece is, you know, Luffy is going to be the Pirate King. So, you know, that's very, you know, okay, that could happen, really, you know, or not.
Right.
The series could just stop and it'd be like, yeah, eventually he'll become the Pirate King or whatever. But, you know, I feel like with Food Wars, that was structured as shit. I mean, basically, they told the readers or the viewers, you know, really everything to expect from the series for the next...
From the get-go.
Yeah, from the get-go. Like, I mean, just... it was, like, built like a fucking skyscraper, right? I mean, that foundation is rock solid.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's, you know, very intelligently. I mean, I wonder how far in advance this guy wrote all the scenarios. That would be interesting. But, yeah, definitely... I think this is probably the most exquisitely structured Jump series I've seen. I mean, because they really... I guess he was kind of worried about how a food series would run in Jump, so he wanted to make sure that...
I will give it the foundation of a god.
Yeah, you know, to show that there's going to be as much competition as possible, you know?
Right.
So maybe, but yeah, but I thought it works for the series very well, and I think it's just hilarious. I mean, the comedy is great. I like the food battles because you get the intensity of like a duel, but at the same time you're not actually beating somebody up. So
I mean, it's almost like the opposite. It's like super intense battle, but then it's like bite into it, and it's like, now I'm in this really pleasant place.
Yeah, I guess it's the opposite from being cut in half, you know?
Right. It's like, and then it's like, and I'm crying. You won the battle this time.
Yeah.
I've been defeated.
You know, and there's the usual, like, oh, you weren't even using your full power, were you? It's like, no, I thought I was. It's like, oh, you know. So I think it just shows how well the Jump formula works for anything. For anything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you could apply the structure to anything humanity's ever thought of, and you could make an engaging story.
Yeah. I feel you.
I mean, like backgammon, Scrabble. I mean, fuck, I'd watch a Scrabble anime if it was done just like this.
Yeah,
you know?
dude, well, I mean, that's like Go, really.
Oh, yeah, really. Yeah, actually.
And then, you know, hopscotch.
Hopscotch.
For sure.
Golf.
Just
Maybe I would even like
jumping
golf.
on hopscotch. You know.
That would be
Oh
a good
no!
series.
Someone they put the rock at the spot. It's like, no, you've got to avoid the rock. Somehow he did it. Then there's like the super hopscotch battle that has like blades or whatever. I don't know.
I feel like the Tenjo Tenge author should do a manga about competitive hopscotch.
Dude, has he been doing anything?
Yeah, he's got a new series running. I think.
Has he also done porn? I feel like he's done porn.
I feel like he.
If not, he should. Maybe that's what's calling.
I feel like he's done porn too. Yeah, what is he doing now? Yeah, well, you were right. He created the pornographic series Silky Whip.
Boom. All right, so yeah, next step.
So he's doing Bjord Trinity right now, but he's not writing it, so that means the series could actually make sense.
Yeah.
I feel like he and the Bleach author...
Or something?
Yeah, he did Air Gear.
Yeah, that makes sense too.
Yeah, and so that's the thing, is I feel like he's kind of like the Bleach author, whereas their art is fucking out of this world.
Right.
But they need to actually just work with somebody who can write.
Yeah. Like, the guy with Star Wars, like, you just need someone who can direct.
Oh, yeah, George Lucas,
yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, on that note, I think that,
I think we've killed it.
I think we've killed it. I think we're done.
Actually, we didn't kill it. I think we baked it to perfection. I think that it's a nice, tasty.
I mean, right now I just can't tell if I love you or hate you. Like I'm really at that like it's like I want to like hit you and hug you. Like I'm really trying. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we pretty much covered it. And so the next show we're doing. Well, actually, we forgot one thing.
Huh.
We forgot one very important ingredient.
You
may say. A very important ingredient that just doesn't make this meal complete. Perhaps you could even refer to it as dessert. How many stars would you give this series out of 10?
Like, as a show itself, I want to do, like, I would say 8. But, like, for me personally, I want to do, like, 7 or whatever. Just because it's, like, I don't really like comedies that much. Although, of the comedies that I like, this one's one of my, like, favorites or whatever, you know?
Yeah, I think I would do 6.5.
Oh, shit!
Yeah, but actually what I'm thinking about, though, is I feel like if I give a show 5 stars, I don't think that means it's a bad show. I think really, like, kind of what you're saying is, I think it's a really solid series. It's a great comedy. People are going to love it. It's just definitely, and people have been just really enjoying the manga and all that.
Right.
But it's just not one of those series that makes me have the reactions that these people have when they eat the food.
Right.
So well, maybe 6.5 is too low. Yeah, I think with you, I'd probably do 7. Maybe 6.5, 7. So I think it's an above average, really, really good, solid show.
Yeah.
Which I think the difference is is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? I think, I'm going to go back and watch the rest of it. This show, I feel like I might pick up a volume of the manga and read a little bit of it and enjoy it.
But it's not like I need to finish watching this. Like, I could very well have this going on, like, playing some video games, playing WoW or whatever, and then just be done with it. But it's not like I need to finish this or whatever, Yeah,
because it's, you know how it's going to go.
Yeah.
But what makes it really stand out is the humor.
Yeah, the journey is solid.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think it's one of those things where I'm not going to watch all of it or read all of it, but I'll definitely tune in every once in a while and just see what's going on.
Put it on your queue and then watch it eventually or whatever.
Yeah. Whereas with other shows, like I'd like to finish it for the story, because I'm interested in seeing how these characters are introduced and all that, and what happens to them. So. Yeah, I'll do 6.5.
Yeah, with Fate Night, I actually or Fate Stay Night or whatever, I actually was like, every week I'm gonna watch this. I don't think I've had that same feeling yet. Yeah, I understand that. So, that I think wraps up the last course of this podcast. Got it. All right, we gotta go. We really gotta go. I can't let you do these food puns anymore. They're killing me, man. So next time we're doing Gangsta. Yes. And then I think after that, prison school? Prison school? Yeah. I think so. I think I'll have to see how many episodes Prison School has. Is it like 3 or 4 or something? I don't know. Anyway, we'll figure it out. We'll know when we do Gangsta what we're doing next. That's it. Sounds good. All right, well, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you all next time. Yeah. Bye.